And let those bobtails ring, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I'm here with your daily pick a card tarot reading for Wednesday, December 23rd, 2020. And guess what came out for you guys? Jingle bats, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to pull a tarot card today. Hey, okay, so this is the perfect card to show up on a Wednesday. The Hanged Man in my deck, which is represented by the bat, is just such a, it's just such a perfect card for a Wednesday. You know, Wednesdays are the bridge from the beginning of the week to the end of the week. We're one day away from Christmas Eve. We just came off of, Yule, and it's just a really exciting time to think about where we want to be with our lives. And this card, even before I get into bats, because they're just such misunderstood creatures, and they're so sweet. They're like winged kittens, right? They're, what do they call them? Sky puppies? I've seen them called sky puppies on social media. That always makes me laugh. You know, when you take a look at the traditional tarot card meanings of the Hanged Man, it can look really uncomfortable at the moment, and yet this card is, well, when this card shows up, I know two things about the person that's sitting in front of me. They either, it would serve them well to see things from a different perspective, which is why he's inverted. He's upside down, and while the blood might be rushing to his head, that might even help where he's going with all of his thoughts and his emotions, and when he's trying to decide A or B or C and which direction to go in, he's channeling divine wisdom because he's attached to a cross, right? And of course, that's going to signal divinity, heavenly messages, God, source, universe, whatever. Seeing things from a different perspective, I really believe, is the the overtone of the message today, because, throughout our daily life, we're always planning something. We don't even realize it, but if we've got to go grocery shopping, I sit around and think about going to Publix a lot, y'all, because I wonder what a great adventure awaits me there, right? And, you may have to take one of your kids to the doctor, to practice for, ballet or for baseball. You might have a project due at your job. You might be considering changing jobs. There are a million decisions we make throughout the day. And what would our days be like? What would our life turn out to be if we just stopped for a moment and anything that we felt irked about, anything that we were like, I can't believe I got to do this. What if we chose to see that from a different perspective, right? I suspect, I'm going to paint with a really wide brush here. I suspect life for everyone would be magically transformed if we would allow ourselves to take a step back and see things from a different perspective. Case in point, this card, this animal. Y'all don't know how hard it is to find a picture of a bat. You don't know. You just don't know. And even before I went searching for bat, I already knew, I'd already been told by the animal allies that a bat had to be the Hanged Man. It makes sense. They hang upside down, right? Okay. But in particular, I was looking for a white bat. The singular, hanging, clear, seeable, usable white bat picture, it's the only one. It's like the only one out there. And I spent hours looking. And right as I was about to punt and just go, with regular old bat, poof, this guy or girl, can't tell, appeared to be the Hanged Man. And the point about the color white is, again, that's a sign of divinity. And while there really is no mention of angels in the traditional Rider-Waite, tarot card meanings, I always see this card as very angelic. Or well, in my deck, I see it as very angelic because of the wings of the bat and the white color. So whatever this is that you're trying to plan out, decide, make a decision about, the seeing things from the higher perspective. If you're an angel person, call on your angels, call on bats, call on, the Hanged Man, and they'll help you intuit just flipping the script. And it may only need flipping the script like that much. Another case in point, when we were working on the Black Jaguar to be the Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, Queen of Swords. Man, we had a great picture, just a really great picture of a Black Panther, but nothing we put that cat over. It just didn't look right. And finally I was like, okay, listen, animal allies, come on now, you got to help the sister out. And I heard, if cats could talk, and they can, in my head, I heard a voice say, Bernadette, cats are nocturnal. Big cats are nocturnal. They hunt nocturnally. Well, Black Panthers do. Put it in a night scene. We put that Black Panther in a night scene, and it is, if I could tell you the amount of emails and messages I get about that card in particular, the power, the mysterious magic of this jaguar, you know, coming out of the darkness so that her back end almost, you can't tell if it's the night or if it's her back end. It looks like she's literally been created out of the night, and all the colors are so rich and so deep. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that card. Saw it from a different perspective. The porcupine card, it's a white porcupine, and we're trying to put it in daylight. And I was like, okay, you know, porcupines come out at night. Let's put it against a darker background. Whammo, porcupine said, ha, and showed up, right? Okay, so you get the message about seeing things from a different perspective. Now, the other thing that I really love this card for is, you know, yesterday, the message was, listen, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Make the most of the next 9 days, you know, before the end of the year. Don't decide, oh, I'll think about it later. I'll get to it later. And I talked about my good friend, Genius Guy, who other people, you know, sometimes think he's just lazy because he's just sitting around, when inside what he's doing is he is dreaming the dream. He is seeing all the different perspectives and gathering all of his facts and all of his intel, and then making, you know, whatever it is he's going to do. The Hanged Man is very much like that. And, you know, if you take a look at how, well, you know, in my rendition of Hanged Man, listen, trying to find a bat hanging from one leg with the other leg crossed over it. Okay, come on now. No. But in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot card, what you see is this old boy, he's got one leg crossed over the other. Well, that's going to be very reminiscent of the Dancer in the World card, right? Which means everything is in a perfect state of balance. And when you take a look at the halo, that golden, beautiful, you know, light around his head, again, you know that the, y'all, oh my God, I might have choked myself. I didn't even think about it till just now. Today's chakra is the solar plexus. It's yellow. It's golden in color. Of course, this was a perfect card to come out for today. And today's ruling planet is Mercury. We knew that. We talked about that. The messages from the divine to, you know, downloaded into you. Totally didn't even think about the chakra till now. So now you know even better why the Hanged Man has come out for you all today, is because of that creativity, that artistry, that, you know, and when I hear people say I'm not creative, I just go nuts, because I'm like, look, you create your life every single day. You decide what time you're going to wake up. You decide if you're going to brush your teeth or not. You decide what you're going to have for lunch, what you're going to make for dinner, what you're this, what you're that. That's a creative process. Even if we don't think about it consciously, everything that you say, do, think is a creative endeavor, because you're, again, creating, manifesting, whatever, invoking, calling in, whatever you want to go throughout your day. You're even creating the things that you don't want throughout the day. So this is a call, the Hanged Man, and that in particular, is a call for you to, whatever it is you're creating, to see things from a different perspective, especially if you're creating things that you don't want in your life. And please tell me, all you wild ones are to the point in your spiritual journey, in your hero's journey, that you understand that the outside influences are not ruling you. They're not governing you. You are a wild and free spirit with the perfect soul and you can create whatever life you want. You truly, truly can. So if you're having a struggle with that, if you're having a struggle like, you know, I know people say that, and I've read this book and that book, and I've seen this video and that video, and I've taken this class and that class, but it's still not happening for me, maybe stop looking at the videos. Maybe stop taking the classes. Okay, except for mine. You got to look at mine. So, you know, maybe stop doing all of that and turn your attention inward. Turn your attention inward, which is this perfect card to do that, because the Hanged Man speaks of times of rest and non-motion, non-movement. And we don't want to stay stuck in that place for too long, but we definitely want to honor the times when we're asked to slow down. For me, Spirit finally got that through to me, because it said wham and laid me out last year. I am 100% convinced that I was put through a shamanic sickness or a shamanic illness, which there's not a whole lot out there about that. I kind of stumbled on that information, and I'm trying to do more digging to see more people who talk about it. But it's almost like people that do the deepest kind of, well, I can't even really say the deepest. It's just, it depends on how it hits you. But you get these weird illnesses like out of nowhere, and they almost take you out. Like you think, God, is this the time in my sacred contract where I was like, peace out? You know, peace out. You know, I didn't feel like that. I didn't want that. I didn't think. And so, you know, I'm back. And now when I've worked too long, done too much, been so, you know, deeply emotionally invested in something, triple Scorpio, emotions, I desire, you know, Spirit has this mechanism now that goes off in my head that says, you're done, we're done. My sister calls it the we're done face. If we're out doing something, or, you know, even just sitting around talking, she'll go, it's time to go. And I'll be like, what? And she's like, you got the look. You turn just like that. It was like a light switch. So honor the times that you're taking off, or to rejuvenate, or just to consider, you know, really, really take some time to do that. When we talk about bats, you know, they are nocturnal creatures, and they do fly at night, and they do hunt at night. And the vermin, just the sheer volume of bugs that they'll eat up. You know, here in Florida, we love having bat houses because we have mosquito drama. Those things are like drones. You can hear them coming a mile and a half away. My house abuts a protected wetland. And when it gets wet during the rainy season and there's water back there, yes, I do have the great joy of watching all the ducks float. You know, there's a huge duck population in my community, and they just float on down the river, which is always a call for me to take a look at. You know, okay, things may look calm above the surface, but below, they're little ducky, you know, web feeder. And I'm like, what's going on under the surface there? But, you know, that, okay, at the end of the story is that creates mosquitoes, like, you know, and all I can do is stand on my porch and say, fly, my pretties, fly, because you can't go out in your backyard. So that said, you know, what are the vermin? I know it's going to sound weird, but what are the pesky little things or people or situations that are, sorry, y'all, I'm wearing my jingle bells. What are those things? And do you need to eat them? Do you need to, pardon me one second. Yes, that's a Santa glass. Yes, it is. It really is, instead of saying eat, what is it you need to consume? And then when you consume that, what are you turning it into? Now, bats, they let out a lot of excrement, a lot. And it is it's one of those. Y'all let me know in the comments. And that stuff is about as fertile as you ever thought of it being. And so when you consume something that might be distasteful, maybe not palatable to a lot of other people, you can be your own, you can be your own, You can be your own compost pile, y'all. You can be your old, your own rolly compost, composter. And that's really about anything negative. Instead of letting the negativity, and let's just break it down to that, right? I don't know why it took me so long to get to that. But instead of consuming the negative and holding it in and letting it make you toxic, just recycle that stuff and repurpose it and let it create a fertility. So for instance, one of my favorite things when I was much younger is, and I would tell people, I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to be in the entertainment business. Y'all, they laughed at me and laughed at me and laughed at me. And I did go to Hollywood and I did very well in the entertainment business. Oh, yes, I did. Not in the way that I had originally thought, but my dream evolved over time. So that is, I think, probably for today, when I'm doing this, I'm listening. Yeah. For today, it's about seeing things. Oh, okay, it's about seeing things from a different perspective. So you can compost, you can compost your own dreams and whatnot, your own, whatever it is that you want to achieve, and you can just keep adding fertilizer to it. But there definitely is a call for you to take just a little bit of time, really whatever time you need without getting stuck in a stasis. Take that time to just mull things over, to get your downloads, to get your information from wherever you get it from. And remember now, the Hanged Man is number 12 in the major arcana. And the number 12 in numerology is about completed cycles. It's the perfect number. So whatever you're going to be considering in this time, once you do make your decision and you fly ahead, it's going to be perfect. And the only thing that one other thing I'm being told to add is, let's say that whatever this dream is that you're dreaming, whatever this thing is that you're trying to make a decision about, understand that moving forward to accomplish it, you might have to be spending some time alone. Now, nobody wants to hear that in 2020, coming to the end of 2020, when the whole world's been on lockdown. A lot of people have struggled with depression and anxiety and separation anxiety and just, all those kinds of things. And totally, man, my heart goes out to you guys. But I also see this card when this comes for me in a reading. It depends on the client, but I really do see this card as are you a talker or are you a doer? Or are you a thinker? And at the end of the day, you really need to be all three. You've got to be the thinker. Certainly, you're going to have to talk about what you're doing, getting information from other people, sharing whatever you're doing if it's appropriate. But are you a doer? Are you stuck in that? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. But you haven't been able to unfurl your wings and get out of your bat box. It's time to get out of your bat box. Don't be a talker. Don't be a thinker. Not only those things exclusively. Make sure that you're also a doer, or a year from now, or 6 months from now, or 6 years from now, you're still going to be thinking about it or talking about it. So come out of the dark. But even if you're in that dark meditative place for a little while, it's okay. Just make sure that you pull yourself out when you're told that the time is right. And this video, this reading today, may be part of that. So I hope that was helpful. If you are resonating with the animal allies, I'd love it if you picked up your copy of the Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. The link to buy it is below. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and get all of the daily messages sent. You get that little ding, Bernadette's there. And also, I want to thank you guys that have shared my videos. And if any of you feel like you want to share them again, that would be also greatly appreciated. So it is one more sleep until Christmas Eve, and then it's only one more sleep until Santa is here. And all throughout that, I am going to do the same that you are going to do, which is what? To stay wild.